Hello there, and today we are doing score predictions for round 4 of the Emirates FA Cup 2020-21 season. That's right, we're going to get through all of the games. This is round of 32, and it's going to be an interesting one. We've got some nice matchup, including Manchester United versus Liverpool and Southampton taking on Arsenal. So let's start with that game, Southampton versus Arsenal. And by the way, song of the week and theme of the week and colour of the week will all be at the end of the video. But let's kick off with the Saints taking on Arsenal. Now, before I do say anything, I need to remind you that the scoring system for the FA Cup is slightly different to the other videos that I do. So let me talk you through that. Basically, it's a bit complicated because of the fact that you've got penalties, extra time, all that stuff that has to be taken into consideration. So it does actually take a bit of thought, basically. But the way that we're scoring it is you get one added point for correctly guessing the game goes to penalties, i.e. predicting a draw, because it can only go to penalties if it's a draw. You get 0 0.5 extra points for correctly guessing that it's decided in extra time, even if the result is actually wrong. So say, you predict a certain score in 90 minutes, but it happened in extra time, and either that score or the result, and you got it right after it happened in extra time, you'd still get those points. And then you get 1 point for the right result. So say if you had, West Ham beating Doncaster on penalties, you would only get 1 point for the right result if they beat Doncaster in 90 minutes. But if they won on penalties and you said that they would, do the other way around, you'll get 2 points for correctly predicting it would be penalties. And if you said that West Ham would win 2-0 after 90 minutes and instead West Ham won on penalties, then that would also be just 1 point. And then it's 3 points for the correct scoreline, and 1 additional point if you get the exact score right on penalties. Now, I know that's unlikely, but basically, if you get the exact score right on penalties, which I actually managed to do, believe it or not, I managed to do it in the last round, and that was in the Blackburn-West Brom game. So, I actually predicted a 0-0 in that game, and I said a 3-2 win to Blackpool on penalties. That's exactly what it was. It was obviously 2-2. So a correct scoreline is 3 points. And if you get an incorrect scoreline but the correct result and exactly the penalties, then that's the equivalent of getting the score right in the game. So that's pretty amazing. So let's get into these predictions. Southampton taking on Arsenal at St Mary's Stadium. And it's a tough one to call. Obviously, Southampton got their win in the rearranged game with Shrewsbury thanks to their rise in cases. But it was played on Tuesday, and it was a comfortable win with goals from Undululu and I forget the other goal scorer. Apologies, whoever that is. I'm completely blanking your contribution there. But no, basically it was a comfortable win. Was it still 2-0? I'm pretty sure it was. Let's just double check on that one. Yeah, it was 2-0. And the person that got the decisive second was in fact James Ward-Prowse, a regular in the first team. So I think this is going to be a tough one though, because Arsenal are very much gunning for the cup. You see what I did there? But they like this competition, don't they? They really do play their strong team, and we saw that in their game against Newcastle. And I think they're going to be the winners here, but it's going to be a tight one. And I predict it'll end Southampton 0, Arsenal 1. And the winner will come for Arsenal, and imagine the scenes if it came from Theo Walcott for Southampton against his former team. But I don't think that will be the case. Instead, I think the other wing wizard, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, will get the winner because he's in a bit of confidence, and confidence breeds more goals. And as they say, class is permanent, but form is temporary. Alright, now let's move on to a game between Chorley and Wolverhampton Wanderers. Now, I'd really love Chorley to win this. Well done for beating Derby. It was a very weak Derby team due to their rising cases, and Chorley have been absolutely inspirational. Wolves, though, I haven't got confidence that Wolves will absolutely destroy Chorley. We saw how tough Chorley made it for Derby. And I think the fact it's at Chorley, there is a chance of an upset. So I think this could go all the way to penalties. So after extra time, I think it'll end Chorley Town 1, Wolverhampton Wanderers 1. And on penalties, we'll go for 4-3 to Chorley. Come on, Chorley. I know you can do it. Now we've got Barnsley up against Norwich. Oh yeah, by the way, in that 1-1 draw, I think goal scorers for the game, first of all, a goal from Wolves, and that will come from, I don't know. It's hard to think because there's just so much rotation in the cup, and you just can't really guess the teams. But we will say that Wolves get the lead through the man that got booked in their last round. It's Roman Ait Nori. And then Chorley will equalise, but who will they equalise from? It's a tough one. We are going to go with the man to make it go to penalties and ultimately make it, go in their favour with the penalty win. Will be the winger that goes by the name of Elliot Newby. Alright, now let's go for Barnsley against Norwich. And I think this is going to be another tight game. Norwich like to see out these games with clean sheets, but also see it out with, comfortable wins. And I'm going to go for Barnsley 0, Norwich City 2, with goals coming on the day from Timu Puki, and also a goal from, let's have a look. Oh, it's a tough one. Let's see. Who can we have for the second goal for Norwich? It is going to be... It's going to be number 11, Placheta. Alright, now we've got a game between Bournemouth and Crawley Town. Now, this is another cup upset. Imagine the scenes if we could see a shock on the cards here. It would be amazing. Just quickly looking at my my previews for these games. So in terms of this game, I do think that, fair play to Crawley. They produced one of the biggest shocks of the last round with a massive 3-0 win over Premier League giants Leeds United. And they have been drawn against classy Championship side Bournemouth. They've been high-flying in the Championship, but their recent record in the Championship has started to, go off the rails a little bit. So maybe they'll be focusing on the Championship and therefore play a weak team, which gives Crawley Town a chance here. They do have the added test of having to play away from home, though, do Crawley. Can they spring another sick surprise? I don't think so. I'm going to go for an ugly win for Bournemouth, but I think they will get it done. Bournemouth 1, Crawley 0. And the man that gets the winner is Sam Surridge. And now we've got a matchup between Brighton and Blackpool. Now, the reason I've actually picked this one out is because League One side Blackpool, well done, because they've already knocked out a Premier League side in the form of West Bromwich Albion, drawing 2-2 in that game. And it was actually quite a strong West Brom team, that was the thing. And Chris Maxwell, he was the hero, wasn't he? Saved 3 penalties in the shootout to spark some crazy scenes on the seaside. So it was a great moment for Blackpool. They go to the seaside again, do the Oranges, if that's their... Or is it the Marines or the Nectarines? I don't know. But Blackpool face Brighton, and I'm going to go for a draw. But it's going to be Brighton that once again have the penalty heroics. So we'll say Brighton and Hove Albion 1, Blackpool 1, with goals on the day coming from, first of all, let's say the man that scored the opener in the last round. It's Jerry Yates. And then the equaliser for Brighton coming right at the death to send it into extra time, I reckon will come from, I think, a player who deserves to score more goals and has looked really good in Brighton's recent games. I don't know if he's going to play, but he came off the bench in the last round. It's Percy Tau. And then on penalties, I reckon, Brighton win it, let's say, 4-2. Now we've got a game up between Millwall and Bristol City. And I've got to fancy Millwall here because I think Bristol City... They're not too good away from home. So we'll say Millwall 2, Bristol City 1. I'm not going to do goal scorers actually for all of these because it would just take too long. But that's what I'm going to go with. Sheffield United taking on Plymouth next. And, it's a tough game for Plymouth. And you could argue a tough game for Sheffield United based on how poor they've been this season. But they did obviously get that win against Newcastle. They dropped back to the low standards against Tottenham, but they were always going to lose that. So, I don't know. But I'm going to go with a Sheffield United win. I think they'll see it out fairly comfortably. And we're going to say a Sheffield United 3-1 victory. And it will be a rare moment where they actually get a few goals in and maybe boost their confidence ahead of that game against Manchester United. They will definitely need the confidence. But yeah, that's what we're going to go with. Now it's Swansea taking on Nottingham Forest. This is another all-championship clash. And Nottingham Forest in the last round got a very good win against Cardiff. So they're going to want to beat these Welsh rivals as well. But I've got a feeling Swansea will do enough here. They're at home and they looked really good against Stevenage. It's got to be said. Goals from Wayne Routledge and Victor Gairo-Queiroz got the win. Obviously, it's not Swansea's strongest team with the likes of Andre Ayew and I don't know a few others not playing like their key men like what's his name, Jamal Lowe, people like that basically. But they still do have enough to get results, and I'm going to go with Swansea City to win here 1-0 at the Liberty Stadium, with the winning goal coming from the midfielder that goes by the name of George Byers, and he used to play for Watford, so there's a little bit of a nice story behind that. And now we've got West Ham against Doncaster. Surely it's a comfortable win for the Hammers. Doncaster, yeah, well done. That was a very good result against Blackburn. But West Ham, I just think at home they're going to be comfortable. Obviously, they were made to work for it by Stockport, and fair play to Stockport. But Craigie Boy Dawson, great header, and found a way to get West Ham, out of trouble there. So I think they won't have any issues here. I'm going to go with a comfortable 2-0 win to West Ham United. Now it's Cheltenham taking on Manchester City, and this is the kind of game you could feel quite bad for Cheltenham. They've actually done quite well to get to this far with an extra time goal from William Boyle sending them through against Mansfield, but Man City are going to absolutely pick them apart. I mean, Kevin De Bruyne is now out for 4 to 6 weeks, which is a bit of a shame for them. Whether he'd have started this game because it's only the FA Cup, I don't know, but maybe some players will definitely show their stuff in this game. And I think Foden is a player who's great for this competition because he can just show his manager how he deserves to be starting more league games. He gets dropped all the time, but when he plays in this competition, he scores. So we're going to go for a 4-1 victory to the Citizens with goals from Phil Foden. Then the second for Manchester City comes from Fernandinho. Manchester City get a third through the winger Riyad Mahrez. Then Cheltenham get a goal back, maybe a little glimmer of hope, but realistically not going to be a chance to get back in it. A goal coming from Blair. And then finally, Manchester City grab their fourth goal. And the man to get that goal is going to be the defender that is Benjamin Mendy. All right, now let's go for a game between Chelsea and Luton. And sorry, Luton fans, Watford bias coming in, and Chelsea are a good team. I know that they've been struggling. I know they've had a really bad dip, and people have been calling Lampard to get the sack. They lost, obviously, in that game against Leicester. Leicester have been a good team this season, so maybe that's not the worst result in the world. But the football they've been playing, defensively, really poor. Going forward, Timo Werner looks so short of confidence. But these kind of games in the FA Cup that he can get that confidence back up, like we saw with his goal against Morecambe. So I'm going to go with a Chelsea win. But I don't think that Luton will be pushovers. I think this will be a game that Chelsea have to battle, have to grind. And I'm going to go for less than the win against Morecambe. We're going to go for instead Chelsea 2, Luton 0. And the goal scorers for the home side are going to be, first of all, In midfield, Mason Mount, who's been in great form. And then the second, Timo Werner. All right, now let's go to the game that is between, of course, Brentford and Leicester City. Now, this is another game that I think could maybe just go to extra time, but I'm not going to go for it. I'm going to say it is a last gasp winner, but it's for the home side. I know. I'm going to go for a shock. I just think Brentford are a very good team, and their games have been postponed recently. Maybe it's given them a rest, but I just think the football they play is so good. And yes, Leicester have been an amazing team as well this season, but I think they're going to be focusing more on the league, trying to get that Europa League spot. So, or even, pushing for the title. They're kind of an outside choice for that. Brentford, obviously, in their last game, didn't play the strongest team for the Cup, but I just got a feeling Brentford can do it in this game and cause a mini upset. So we'll say Brentford to win this one in a thriller, 3-2 to the Bees, with goals coming from Pinnock, and then an equaliser for Leicester from Harvey Barnes. And then Brentford go back in front, and that goal comes from Charlie Good. And then I will say that Leicester equalise again to peg them back. And who is going to get the equaliser for Leicester? Well, it's a tough one, but I am going to go with the midfield maestro that goes by the name of Yuri Tielemans. And finally, Brentford snatch a winner, and that comes from Gilbert. Now we've got a game between Fulham and Burnley, and I just look at this game and think, sorry, it's going to be a dull one. Fulham have been good. Their performances have been impressive. Maybe a little bit unlucky to not get a point against Manchester United. Ademola Lookman in very good form. But I just feel this game, both teams are not going to be massively going for it because they know what is at stake in the Premier League. So I'm going to say Fulham 0, Burnley 0 after extra time. And on penalties, Burnley get the win. And it's 3-1 on penalties. Okay, now we've got Everton versus Sheffield Wednesday. Now, Sheffield Wednesday won 2-0 in the last round, whereas Everton won 2-1 after extra time with a very hard to break down Rotherham team, causing them some issues. I've just got a feeling, though, this game won't be as easy as it looks on paper for Everton. Sheffield Wednesday, they've had some struggles financially at the start of the season, but, you know, I think they might just go for this one. So I'll just go for Everton 1, Sheffield Wednesday 1 after 90 minutes. But then after extra time, I think Everton probably will find a way through. And I think they'll get the winner through the forward that is called, well, more a winger really, but it's Bernard to get the winner. So it's 1-1. So the first goal for Everton in this game will come from the midfielder Andre Gomez. And then I think that Sheffield Wednesday will equalise through Adam Reach. But then Everton once again get the 2-1 victory with a goal from the winger Bernard after extra time. Okay, now we've got a game that is between Wycombe Wanderers and Spurs. And I'm going to go with a Tottenham win. Of course I am, because they're going to be wanting to get some silverware. They're in the final of the Carabao Cup. It'd be a nice addition to get the FA Cup as well for Mourinho, but you saw against Marine how they were just so professional, and even people like Carlos Vinicius are knocking on the door really for Harry Kane. Harry Kane's been absolutely faultless all season. Vinicius has been good for these kind of games though, and I think he will score again. So we'll say it ends Wycombe Wanderers 0, Tottenham 4. And goal scorers in this 4-0 triumph for the London club, well, we'll say the first one is Vinicius. And then the remaining goal scorers, well, part of me thinks Dele Alli, but I just don't even know if he's going to play or even if he's going to stay at that team. So we'll say the second goal comes from Jedson Fernandez. It's a long time since he's done something for them. And then Spurs get a third through the impressive defender that goes by the name of Joe Rodon. And then the fourth goal for Spurs, let's say it's going to be scored by the man who got subbed on in the last game, Gareth Bale. Alright, now let's move on to Manchester United versus Liverpool. A crunch game, it's got to be said. It's such a big rivalry and I really can't wait. It's obviously the standout fixture of the rounds, and it's even more dramatic because it's their second meeting in the space of just a week. Now, obviously their 0-0 draw in the Premier League left a bit to be desired. Not the best of matches, but, you know, both defences cancelled each other out, and, you know, that's just the way it goes. But there's a chance for these teams now to, you know, make it a bit more exciting. Man United are top of the league, loving life, getting results. Pogba is in amazing form. Whereas Liverpool, losing to Burnley, not scoring for about 7 hours of football, they're really, really in trouble. So I think this game is so much more important for Liverpool than it is for Manchester United. Manchester United, you know, are doing pretty well in the league, and they'll probably want the FA Cup, but Liverpool might, at this rate, be looking at the FA Cup as their only silverware if they really do start tailing off. Obviously, they're still a strong team to retain the title, but who knows? But I'm just leaning towards Manchester United. I think they can get the job done here. Liverpool have really hit a hard place at the minute. So we'll say in this game it's going to be tight, but it's going to be a 2-1 win to Manchester United, with goals from Scott McTominay, and then Mohamed Salah will get a goal, but I think in the league is where it's been really struggling. And then Man United get their winner, and who is the man to step up at Old Trafford, at the Theatre of Dreams, to get them this 2-1 victory? Well, it's going to be the man that I think doesn't get enough game time for Manchester United. It is Daniel James, and he will get the winner with a screaming effort from 30 yards. That wraps up my predictions for the FA Cup 4th round games, and I hope you have enjoyed. Smash a like on the video if you haven't already. And now I get to reveal to you the songs, themes and colours of the weekend. Well, it's FA Cup weekend, so get watching the games. And what is the colour of the week? Well, it's going to be orange. And what is the song of the week? Well, that is always the question, isn't it? That is always the question. I'm going to go for a song that is called... what's it called again? It's called... why can't I find it then? Okay. It's a sneaky one, this one. It's not showing itself. Hello? Dun 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 dun. I said, ooh, I'm blinded by the lights. No, I can't sleep until I feel your touch. That is it. It's come out of nowhere like a blinding light. That is the song of the weekend. And what is the theme? Well, it's a tough one on FA Cup weekend, but I'm actually going to go for farm animals. Why not? That is the theme, and you'll see plenty of that on the thumbnail. But thanks for watching this video. I shall see you next time. And don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you later.